chapter to you in
Yep.
the document.
So the main change was the data analysis, wasn't it? Oh, mine's not updating at all. Come on. Hang on, I'm going to have to go out and in again. It's just frozen completely. Oh. Now it wants me to sign in. Do you have any comments at the moment, Ming Chow, while I'm restarting mine? See? Okay, now mine's not loading. What comments do you have, Ming Chow?
It's all on it's all on OneDrive, the comments.
Yeah, I can't. Mine's not loading. God's sake. I'm restarting Outlook. Oh my God. And now my Zoom is...
Or I will send the link to you in the chat.
Yep.
Okay.
Although I think it's my computer because I've got a nearly 5-second delay on my video.
Okay. Sometimes I cannot open the file in the OneDrive. It cannot show the format.
Okay, it's not opening for me. I've got the spinning wheel of death.
Are you at uni?
I'm at uni.
Come up to my office.
I have another meeting in 10 minutes on Zoom.
You're so busy.
Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different browser. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to use Safari. Okay, got it now. Excellent.
Okay.
It's just loading. It's taking ages to load up. Okay. So you've done, oh, it's gone all the way to the research. That's new.
The methodology chapter.
Yep.
And I delete the all the parts about the pre-COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And find some new explanations for the use of Prisma table.
Yep. Okay, so you've got Braun and Clark. Which is fine. And for each phase, you've got an example. So what we're missing from that is an example of the thematic analysis process.
An example for what?
So under your data analysis,
Okay.
where you've got phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you usually have an example. Let me bring up my thesis again.
You have it in your presentation, Yishan, just cut and paste.
Okay.
Yes, so, thank you, Mingqiao. So the thing that within your presentation, you need to have an example of that in your thesis as well. The reason why is because, again, as we've spoken about qualitative research not being standardized, is that people can be assured that you're following a rigorous process. So we need to be as transparent as possible. So that needs to go.
Okay.
It can go underneath the phase 6 sentence, if you like.
To show a whole table or
the whole process, yeah.
Okay.
Now we don't really talk about validity in qualitative research. We talk about rigor and reliability.
What's an reliability?
Rigor, R-I-G-O-R. Because validity and generalizability is usually a quantitative or a positivist term. So again, for the same reason, why we talk about rigor and reliability and trustworthiness, it's showing that transparency and showing that rigor of process. So people know that even though they can't replicate the results, they understand what the process is, and that process is an acceptable process.
Okay.
So what you need to probably do, what will probably make sense, would be if you do a search and find and check for any points that you've said, either validity and generalizability, and replace them.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's going to be something that the marker is going to catch you on, for lack of a better word, because they're going to say, well, this is a quantitative word, not a qualitative word.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the main change to the methodology chapter, wasn't it? And that you also removed the
yes, remove the pre-COVID-19 data set and all of the narrative literature review and content analysis.
Yeah. So scoping review is new as well, isn't it? Because that's that wasn't in. Let me just have a quick look at this.
So Ishan, I made a comment there about not discussing why a systematic review is not appropriate. So
okay.
The rationale, if you start saying why a systematic review is not appropriate, then you probably need to say why a narrative review is not appropriate and why other reviews are not appropriate. It's probably simple and straightforward to say why you're using a scoping review and why it is appropriate.
Okay, I just read the literature that some of them compare these two, so I consider if they are similar, or people usually make choice between them. So I just need to remove this.
Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to be, any statement you make is a justification for why a scoping review is appropriate for your research. Don't mention the other types of reviews. It's just that, you know, these characteristics are identified for a scoping review. this research has X, Y, and Z as these characteristics. So everything they read is, okay, it's a justification for a scoping review. I can see that comment now. So you could probably flip what you've written there, and instead of mentioning systematic review, you could probably rewrite it so it's a scoping review that's the focus for some of it.
Okay.
So for your next, so you've got, considering that this research embraces the examination of interdisciplinary and cross-conceptual issues, this is where you'd say like a scoping review is ideal as it does X, Y, and Z. Okay. Don't have it's yeah.
Not to write why we not choose the systematic review, but to show reasons.
Yeah, further deepen.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's good that you've been able to incorporate the use of Prisma P's principles into the design. Okay. And then the other chapter was the conclusion chapter, wasn't it?
Yeah, the conclusion chapter.
Ishan, for your chapter introductions and chapter summary, if you have time, when you're writing the chapter summary, cut and paste from your introduction section into your chapter summary, just to make sure that it's consistent. I've done one for you in the methodology section. What I've done is I've cut and pasted what you've written in the introduction section of chapter 3 into the chapter.
The first sentence of the
whole thing. What I've done is I've basically, firstly, I've cut and pasted the thing from the introduction section, and then chapter summary, I've amended a few things, but the structure is still the same. So I've highlighted that in blue in your methodology chapter summary.
Okay, I'll have a check.
So have a look at that. It's not a direct cut and paste, but if you cut and paste and then you just change the language a little bit, it ensures consistency.
Okay. And I saw your comments on the last section of literature review that it was the final comments like that, but I changed to the chapter summary. So
should I about the gaps in the research question?
Yeah. Should I have another?
Yeah. So basically, the chapter summary summarizes what you've written in the chapter. So if you haven't put anything related to the research question in the chapter, that shouldn't be in the chapter summary. Okay. Although I do think that it would be valuable for you to have a section just before your chapter summary, tying everything together and leading to the research question.
Okay.
And do that, then that can be in the chapter summary. Do you get what I mean?
Yes. The summary has no new.
Nothing new. That's right. Yeah.
Nothing new. No.
Yeah, but it's probably important for you to draw upon how you arrived at your research question based on this lit review that you've done. Because if I remember correctly, that was one of the comments that you were given.
Yes.
Last semester. So put a paragraph just before your chapter summary that talks about, I don't know,
I did it in
research question or something.
Yeah,
whatever.
Hang on. I did it in mine. Let me just quickly open and so I can show you how I did it, because I did it just before the summary. Recent. Okay, let me just... Do I have hot links in this document? No, of course I don't, because that'd be too easy. So, no, that's methodology. I've written too much stuff. All right, so what I did, share screen. That one. So if you have a look, what I've done in this paragraph here, I've gone, and this is one of them, and I think I did this for each section, but like as shown in section 3.5, CF, that's cystic fibrosis, is no longer a pediatric chronic disease. Tasmania has a second highest incidence. Delivery of healthcare is provided through clinics. Multidisciplinary care usually has a lot of parental involvement, and that it highlights how this disease impacts the entire family. So that was my summary of that, to say, well, why would we want to look at a symptom monitoring diary for children? Then if you go to this one, under this section, as shown in section 3.4, self-management is a dynamic process, includes assessing condition and treatment, but it's done in a healthcare setting. So after each major section, I've done just one paragraph that says, let me go to the next one, that says this is what is important here. As shown in section 3.3, identifying and responding. So for each of my major sections of my literature review, I've gone and reminded the reader, this is important, this is what we know, this is what we don't know. So by the time you get to that last paragraph in your literature review, they understand exactly why that research question has been done. That shouldn't take you too long. You should be able to just do, even if it's at a sentence level, and even if you don't do it at the end of each section in your lit review, if you just do it, as Ming Chow said, before the chapter summary, just to say like section 3.2 will be whatever, talked about this, section 3.3 talked about this, and so you can see the gaps in the research, just to remind the reader that you have gone and identified gaps. In the chapter 7, in the final section, I'm just wondering, Ming Chow, there's two, for 7.4.1, limited research time. Let me know when you're there.
Yep.
The last sentence, data collection, manual screening, analysis may have been inadequate and incomplete as a result. I think we need to change that sentence to data collection, manual screening and analysis have been restricted to this 9-month period. So you don't have, it may be inadequate or it may not be good, because you don't want that. So you just want to have, it's been restricted to that period. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And then the same with your lack of generalizability. You need a sentence in there just to acknowledge that qualitative research cannot be generalized. However, it can be used in other contexts if the researcher feels it's up to them. So you've got the fact that it can't be generalized, but you'll need a sentence in there showing you understand that it can't be generalized. Because what this lack of generalizability does to a qualitative researcher, if you don't have a sentence in there acknowledging that qualitative research can't typically be generalized, the marker's going to go, well, this person doesn't understand that qualitative research can't be generalized.
Okay.
So you're wanting to say to the marker, to the reader, I know that qualitative research typically can't be generalized, but, you know, because of this, this, and this, this is why. But if people want to use their own context, they can.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to add, Michelle?
No, I didn't get to the conclusion section.
I've just spot read. Very spot read. But I think that's it. What I want to do is, because as I said to you yesterday, I didn't have time today to do a proper review of methodology chapter. I want to read your methodology chapter this afternoon and your discussion chapter if I can, just to get a final thing in it. So I want to do that and get it to you, and I'll obviously CC Ming Chia, but get it to you, back to you tonight, so you can do that final tweak if there's anything, just for checking. Everything else I think we've already done a double check and it's just waiting to go now.
Okay.
You're so close. Tomorrow's the deadline. There's not a lot of big work to do now. It's just the tidying and making sure things make sense. So between now and me sending you those 2 chapters, go through and start tidying this up. Get rid of the XXs, put the links in, because the stuff I'm going to give you is not going to probably change page numbers. It's just going to be little tweaks. So you can start putting things in now. So then when you get everything, you can submit it early and then you can sleep.
In your methodology, cross-reference the sections. So like when you're talking about the analysis and the results and all that sort of thing, cross-reference to the data analysis, you cross-reference to the interpretation and discussion kind of thing. I'm marking a thesis at the moment, all the bits and giving it to you.
Yep.
For your
getting the inside edge.
Yeah.
Like it.
And what I do is I open the thesis and I look at yours and I see what's missing. But yeah.
Cool. Right. I am now late to my other meeting because I only put 20 minutes in. Did you have any questions?
Maybe no question now.
Okay. I'm going to be looking at your stuff this afternoon tonight, so I will be on email. As I said, I will have a look at your methodology chapter and do a proper read of that, plus the discussion chapter this afternoon sometime. So you can contact us still up until you submit. So you're very close, Yishan. Very close. You should be very pleased.
And have a look at the comments that I made. I just made the comments as I went along, so some of it I might not remember. But just certainly have a look at it, and if you don't understand or whatever, just send me a message or something.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. All right. Thank you. Well done. Good luck.
Okay.
We will speak over the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Jen.
Bye.
Bye.